Well, if you're a gun voter in Casper, you have a choice to make in the upcoming August 20 Republican Party primary. Representative Jeanette Ward or challenger Julie Jarvis. Who's going to fight for your gun rights in the Wyoming House? Stay tuned, guys. We're breaking this race down for you right now. Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with Wyoming Gun Owners. The primary is coming up very fast now, and in House District 57, which is Casper, we're being asked about this primary matchup between Representative Jeanette Ward and challenger Julie Jarvis. The question you're asking us is the same every 2 years, right around this time of year. How do we know who we can trust? Everyone says they're pro-gun, everyone campaigns on gun rights, and so often they vote against our gun rights or vote to sabotage our gun rights in Cheyenne. So trust, believability, that is the big issue you're asking us about in this primary election cycle. So guys, I cannot tell you who to vote for. We're not going to do that. What we can do though is give you guys information you need to answer that question on your own and to make a more informed decision. I'm going to begin with Julie Jarvis. Julie has a nice website, but the problem is that she is refusing to tell gun owners where she stands on your right to keep and bear arms. She will not complete the WYGO Gun Rights Candidate Questionnaire. Guys, you know how we use the questionnaire. It's a way for us to ask non-incumbents how they would vote on gun rights issues of the day. In our experience, when a candidate will not put their views in writing, it is almost always a sign that candidate intends to frankly screw us over once they're safely in Cheyenne. The swamp rhino machine is strong and they want to gravitate towards that side. So when a candidate will not survey, it's always a danger sign for us. We then did a little more of a deep dive on her website, on her social media, trying to find other platform, other positions, other statements made for or against your gun rights. And when it comes to gun rights, she had a 5-word throwaway sentence. Actually, it was part of a sentence. 5 words on gun rights, a defender of the Second Amendment, she said. But there's no evidence of that. There's no way to verify any of that. There's no proof of that. And again, with the question being, how do we know who we can trust? It's hard to derive a lot of trust from a candidate who will not survey and has almost nothing on her website and social media about gun rights. Now, after this video airs, I would not be surprised to see Julie put a full platform position on her website on gun rights. You'll have to decide if that's legitimate, if that's sincere, or if that is a maneuver from a candidate in a tight primary election. That's up to you to decide. But what it means, though, having no survey, is that we can't give you a simple yes or no answer on the various gun rights issues of the day. And we asked Julie Jarvis, hey, we just banned red flag laws here in Wyoming. Happened this year, Senate File 109. The rhinos hate it. They want to repeal key elements of that law to make it toothless, to have no bite, no enforceability. Would you vote to defend or vote to uphold, defend or attack rather, SF 109? Are you for or against red flag laws? And Julie Jarvis simply will not say. Everyone knows we have to finish the fight for gun-free zone repeal. We passed that this year as well. House Bill 125. Governor Gordon, of course, vetoed that. That fight is not done. It's going to be a top agenda item for next session. Is Julie a yes vote or a no vote on repealing deadly gun-free zones? Again, she won't say, so we simply don't know. What about weakening stand your ground law? What about all the other issues on the survey? She simply will not tell us where she stands. Guys, the totality here is alarming. No survey, almost nothing on her website about Second Amendment, and no responses on all the questions that we asked her. So in our experience, again, when a candidate won't survey, it's a dangerous sign. Phrased a different way, if a candidate acts like a rhino, talks like a rhino, and walks like a rhino, it's often an indication that that candidate is in fact a rhino. That brings up Jeanette Ward. Now, Jeanette's been in office for just 2 years, but in her 2 years in office, she has been relentless at fighting for your right to keep and bear arms. This session was no exception. This session, she helped lead the fight on the floor for House Bill 125. That was the bill to repeal deadly gun-free zones in Wyoming, the bill that Governor Gordon vetoed. We needed that. We still need it. And Jeanette Ward was right there fighting against the rhinos who wanted to weaken that bill with harmful amendments, and she helped deliver HB 125 to Governor Gordon's desk. Once he vetoed it then, as a favor to all the anti-gun rhino lobby associations here in Cheyenne, we then had to figure out how can we override the governor's veto. We are adjourned for the year. So the only way to do that, to fix that problem, is to convene a special session to come back into Cheyenne and override that veto. It's a small procedural hurdle. It's a big political hurdle because the rhinos who did not want to pass this bill in the first place only did so because they were told that the governor was likely to veto it. Then, when he did, they wanted to make sure there was no special session. Jeanette Ward was an absolute heck yes on the call for a special session, did all she could to get us to that point. Unfortunately, we had too many rhinos in the House. We did not convene that special session, but Jeanette Ward was a yes on that effort. Also was a leading voice on our other bill, which we did pass, Senate File 109, which, as I mentioned, bans red flag gun seizures. You all know what a red flag law is. Your ex-spouse calls you into the cops, you could be dangerous. The cops call the judge, he could be dangerous. The judge, of course, signs a seizure order because they always sign them in states that have them. And before you know it, before you've been charged or convicted or even indicted of anything, your guns are gone, absolutely gone, as they are in Colorado. So we fought to ban that. We were successful in doing that because Jeanette Ward fought hard on the floor to get that done. And the rhinos hated this bill. But it's an election year, and everyone's scared of WIGO members all across the state, so they had to pass it. So their final effort to sabotage the bill was on March 6th this year, and they had Bob Nicholas, the biggest rhino, trash ball, garbage rhino legislator, have I used enough adjectives here? The biggest trash ball in the state to bring 4 harmful amendments that were designed to tank the bill. This was a multi-hour knockdown, drag-out battle on the House floor to weaken SF 109. The amendments did things like gutting the penalties, the teeth out of the bill, or saying this does not apply to federal red flag gun seizures, or saying, yeah, you cannot enforce a red flag law unless a judge says you can, right? Like stupid amendments designed to gut the impact of the bill. This was a battle. I was there for the entire thing, and Jeanette Ward fought hard on the floor, fighting to shut down all these amendments, and you know what? She was successful. All 4 of the Nicholas amendments died that day on the House floor. He withdrew his 5th amendment in humiliation because Jeanette Ward and people like her fought hard to shut him down. A very huge victory for gun owners. That was all the gun control amendments right here on the board. And finally, no surprise, she has surveyed 100% pro-gun with WIGO, but of course that comes last because actions always speak louder than words. So guys, that's our recap on this race. If you see Jeanette Ward, thank her for fighting like hell to advance your gun rights here in Wyoming and for her 100% pro-gun candidate survey. If you see Julie Jarvis, I'd be sure to ask her, what is your deal? Why won't you survey? Why don't you mention gun rights on your website or social media? Why are you trying to hide your stance on our God-given right to keep and bear arms? That's our recap in this race. Do me a favor, if you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or our website, share it on your own social media platforms. Make sure everyone knows where these 2 candidates stand. And to get more involved, guys, go to joinwygo.com.